Welcome to the demonstration, and here I will be creating a lovely flower painting using acrylics and collage. So I'm going to start right into it. I am using an 11 by 15 reject painting, so that is regular watercolor paper, but more of a student grade. And as you can see there, it just has a bunch of smears on it, and a lot of those smears that were on the paper are just from a leftover paint. So the end of a paint session, I have stuff on my palette, I take it, smash it on a piece of paper and smear it and then let it dry. So now what I did there was I added some collage paper to it, and it's still slightly wet, and I'm just using a liner brush just to add a few key edges there to locate the top of the table, the left side of the vase, and that sort of thing. Now, just loosely adding in some very thin layers of acrylic, and just adding a shadow, what will eventually be a cast shadow, and just changing up some of those values in the background. The background is fairly flat, so just adding thin layers like I'm doing now of different values will make that background interesting without having to do or work a whole lot for it. Now the key to this flower arrangement is in this nice bright red flower, and that'll be shadowed and contrasted with a purple flower, and then eventually a yellow flower too. But I wanted to add that right away because I felt like that's going to, everything else works around that. So it's kind of a key element. And for a very simple still life painting, I feel like that's kind of like my focal point. So everything else will be sized and added according to that intense red and that particular shape. As you can see, that everything's loose, nothing is defined. Just splashing shapes and splashing color just to get this thing going, to give me a base to work off of. In the beginning, I try not to be anywhere close to painting accurately. It's just about loosely adding certain shapes and details and kind of bouncing around a little bit. So trying not to spend too much time in one area. So as you can see, I've added a little bit to the vase. Now I'm adding a little bit of greenery there for a leaf. And now I'm going to start to add another key element, which is this white flower on the left hand side. And that's nice thick paint, that I'm not, as I'm adding these flowers and some of the key elements, I'm using thicker paint because I want that to contrast with the thinner paint that's in the background. So just kind of thinking more transparent layers basically for background hues, and then working with more opaque layers and strokes for some of the flowers. And now quickly adding in some of the pinker, these will basically be buds or flowers that are in half bloom there, and just trickling those in there a little bit at a time, and all the while kind of changing hues a little bit here and there. So I'm not trying to use the same exact pink hue. I'll try to push a little red to it, a little white in it, so that it's an interesting shape and it's an interesting color, and it's not just one value. And so now just again going a little bit thicker the whole time and adding some foliage or leaves and stems, and all this is doing is just giving me a good visual about how things are developing as a unit. Okay. And just by building things slowly, I can see things develop more slowly and then make changes accordingly, versus just painting without any care or without any skill or regard to how things are balancing out in terms of color and shape. So it's loose. It's a loose style I work with, but things are done pretty methodically for the most part. So it's kind of like everything needs to be balanced. So you need that little bit of believability and that little bit of expressive quality. But that things generally will happen piece by piece, little by little in the beginning, and then as I start to see it better as it develops, then I can kind of start to take a little more risks and let things go a little bit. So now, yeah, just adding a little bit lighter value to the tabletop there. And all the while, that's kind of loosely shaping the vase and the cast shadow. As you can see, too, I got you in a little bit closer. As I'm putting colors on the collage paper, I always try to take a little bit off of it, too, so that that paper shows through nicely. And, putting the collage paper down, I want that collage paper to be a part of the art and not be completely painted over. It would have been kind of crazy to even put it in there. So now using a little bit thicker paint and a little bit darker in value to shape the flower and some of these key edges that I feel need to be included in the painting to give it that sense of believability and everything to it. But all the while balancing color, balancing strokes, hard and soft edges, and that sort of thing. So you can see now just negative space painting to indicate a little bit of foliage, and some of that may be covered up later on. But for now, it gives me a good idea of where some of the main elements are placed. As you can see here, I'm taking you for a little tour. Everything's pretty wet, especially the thicker paint. So the goal here and the main thing you need to do really at this stage would be just to let things dry. I'll just take you for a little trip around my palette here so you can see how things are organized and laid out. But that's going to cover part one of this demo. All right, welcome to part two. I want to be sure you understand that everything is dry, 100% dry. Using a small liner brush, a little bit of a lighter green mixture here. I'm going to start to add the feeling of stems and just kind of try to bring these forward a little bit. That was probably a little bit too yellow, so you can see I'm mixing a little more green into that. And just still not 100% happy with it. But you know what? Things like that happen. You just wipe it off and you get on down the road, okay? So that's more the color I was looking for. And I can move on, and don't get too fussy with things. When things don't work out, wipe that mess off. And that's the beauty of working in layers. The under layers are dry, so if you don't like something, you wipe it off and you don't mess up with what you've already done before. Okay. And now just really trying to make things a little more three-dimensional, or give them more shape by adding some darker values, a sense of a little bit of a cast shadow, things like that, and just kind of touch and go. It's just I think the key to painting loose art is knowing that delicate balance of putting some believability in there, but leave enough wiggle room that it's unfinished. So there's that little bit of a kind of yin and yang type thing happening with abstract qualities, and then things that are a little more solid and visually understandable. Okay, so kind of at this stage though, I mean, you can see the thing it's already visible. You can see it's a vase, it's a flowers there, and things like that. So you don't really have to be too much. You should do too much. It's just about building things up a little bit, and not trying to do to be a hero and get every single detail. Because if you're going to paint that style, then painting loose is going to come a little bit more difficult for you, because you have to understand that some of those things have to be left out. Okay, and I'm talking about details and shapes and stuff like that, edges. But anyhow, moving along, just adding some darker values, a little bit thicker paint too to some of these edges, and now some lighter values here to catch a little bit of light on the left hand side of the vase. and just mixing that hue up a little bit with a little bit of green, just so it's not all one color or hue there on the vase. As you can see, I like to finger smudge, so that's all that's going on there, just kind of blending things a little bit, adding a little highlight to catch an edge. And there I'm just doing a little bit of splattering, and that can add some expressive qualities, but it's easy to go overboard, so less is best, as in with most cases. So getting some green again here and mixing that in with my reds, and that's going to make it a little bit earthy by using some of those reds into it, and just adding a stem and some leaves and things like that. Of course, all the while it's just a matter of indicating things and not necessarily trying to paint them as they are in real life. And if you're curious about the composition, it's really made up. I mean, it's just a vase with a red flower, a few white flowers and things like that. I didn't really try to capture any specific flower. It was all just kind of loosely done, and and that kind of helps sometimes with painting, because you kind of can gives you a little more leeway versus trying to paint a rose or a dandelion or something very specific. And I've painted enough flowers that I kind of have a little bit of experience to draw from too, so that helps. But this piece was just really a play on color, the reds and the yellows and the purples and the lavenders, I guess, and that's all I was really after. And now just using some midtones there, touching in a few splashes here and there just to balance things out and break up some of those bigger shapes. And now getting into some nice dark values here, and we'll just use that to shape a few key edges. But as you can see, things are moving along pretty quick, coming together. And it's important to note that as you're painting, because the most common error I think painters make is they just overpaint things. So it's you're better off to stop before it's done than you are to look down and realize you've done too much. Because it's much easier to add things than it is to subtract them. So anyway. Yeah, just beefing things up a little bit in the foreground, breaking up some of those kind of solid areas of color just with some subtle hue changes. I think just creates a little more interest. If things get if an area gets too much of the same hue, then the tendency is for that to look flat. So by just adding subtle changes in hues here and there, then that area becomes a little more dynamic and interesting to look at. So you can see just adding pops of color here and there, not trying to be a hero. And now just using a little bit of compressed charcoal, and because I'm scribing that into wet paint, it's really going to leave more of a scratch versus a line like from the charcoal. So knowing I did that into wet paint, I knew it wasn't going to do anything too drastic, but it was going to create a little bit of linear interest, which is kind of what I wanted, just to keep things loose and fresh. Now just kind of really moving in with pure, nice pops of color now, just to bring this thing to life a little bit. You can see there I added that nice splash of pink, and that really brought those little flowers together. Trying to define a few edges here and there by using the background. And that's the name of the game. It's kind of a push and pull thing going the whole time between getting things that make sense visually, and then leaving those areas that are unfinished. And that's what painting, to me, painting loose is all about. It's about getting that balance in there. Yeah, now just beefing up some of the yellows and just toning that down a little bit with some of the grays that are on my palette. So yeah, just bringing some of those lighter green hues in it now. And we pretty much, have this thing close to a finished stage. When you work loose like this and you're familiar with your subjects, these things, you shouldn't need any more than 30 or 40 minutes, to bring a small painting like this in 11 by 15 to a finished stage. Okay, so now I think I will take you for a little trip around the painting so you can get a feel for it. So now you get a good look at the collage work and back up into some of the flowers and background there. And hopefully this inspires you to try collaging and to give this sort of thing a whirl, and maybe you can include it in your next masterpiece. Okay, thanks for watching.